Creatures of the night, it's your girl Tati. Let's talk about Bloodsport. We had a really great show. I surprisingly, this came on right after Collision last night, so I was rambling to get through my review and to go on to watch the show. I thought it was really great. I'm going to say this: if you've never seen Bloodsport, this is not for everybody. This is definitely not for everybody. This is very much like MMA technical wrestling style mix. It's just not for everyone. There's a ring, there's no ropes, there's different rules in these this type of show altogether. So you can win via KO, submission, count out, DQ, or referee stoppage. And if like your wrestlers fall outside the ring, you gotta give them a second to get their asses back into the ring. There's a 10 count. If y'all fighting outside the ring, I need to bring your asses back on in. So there's no biting, no eye gouging, no hair pulling, no small joint manipulations, no low blows, no foreign objects, and no fighting after the bell has rung. If you do any of those, breaking any of those rules, you can be disqualified. Now, we're in Vegas, WrestleMania weekend. All these promotions are taking advantage of having different shows, especially GCW. GCW got like, what, 5, 6 shows throughout this entire weekend called The Collective. So this is what they do every year for WrestleMania weekend, and Bloodsport being one of the typical shows that are on. And I'm going to say this, that we had quite a few of WWE wrestlers, underutilized wrestlers, on this show, and I think everyone did a really great job here. However, unfortunately, I don't believe that how they were shown tonight on this show for Bloodsport will change how they're going to be booked in WWE. Unfortunately, this is just one of those situations where it's like, Paul Levesque is just like, well, they're not doing anything, just give them something to do. GCW is partnered up with the whole WWE ID thing, so for them, it's, I guess, not a big deal. So I guess that works out. We're starting off with, as usual, all the wrestlers that's going to be wrestling on the show, they have their entrance, they all come out to the ring, and they all pose before the show gets started. And I'm not gonna lie, when I saw Jonathan Gresham, I wasn't listening at first because I was like just doing my review. But when Jonathan came out, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, well, who little boy is that that's coming out to the stage just fucking around? Sorry, Jonathan, he's just so small compared to everyone else, and he's probably even taller than me. Whatever. Now, we started off with Layla Hirsch going against Jordan Blade. Now, I think Layla has probably had one match since she's left AEW. Yes, you heard that right. She had already left AEW definitely more than a month ago for sure. They wasn't using her, unfortunately. I think she's a really great talent, and she showed that tonight in this match, especially with her taking the win. I really hope she finds a place that going to appreciate her. I know she's on the smaller side and people might not necessarily take her seriously, but she packs a good punch here. She ends up taking the win against Jordan Blade. Not sure if she's going to be signed anywhere or what opportunity is going to come her way, but she looked amazing tonight. Now, after Layla takes the win via TKO in less than 4 minutes, because we do keep track of the time, because that's important too, because I do believe, so the matches can go up to 15 minutes. Without a clear winner, it can go for another 5 minutes. So the time is important here. So she wins under 4 minutes. Then we have Micah, my girl Micah, going against Carmen Petrovic in less than 5 minutes. Micah, I don't even know how you even got it lasting this long. No shade, Carmen, but I guess I'm going to spoil it. She's the only WWE wrestler that did not win tonight, which is very interesting to me that everyone else won. Carmen, like I said, not surprised. This is Micah we're talking about, but she didn't win. I think she looked a little bit out of her element here. Micah, I'm more familiar with in terms of her being part of Stardom. She is an absolute beast. So I was just praying for anybody that she was going to be in the ring with. But Carmen did take an L in less than 5 minutes. Didn't surprise me here. Micah is super, super fierce. And if you've never seen Micah, look her up on YouTube and see what she's all about. She's an absolute beast. Now after this, we have Charlie Dempsey from NXT. Charlie, I think his 4th time being in Bloodsport. He goes against Shinya Aoki from DDT Wrestling. If you're not watching that, you need to check that out as well. One of the things I really do love about Bloodsport is that you have wrestlers from all promotions just coming on and just showing their thing. Not a typical wrestling show, but at least you get to see a lot of people within the same roof when it comes to all these promotions. Charlie looked very impressive here for me. I absolutely enjoyed seeing him. And in situations like this, it's just making me think, do you need to be in WWE? You could probably do better doing something else, being somewhere else. But hey, it's his choice. I thought he looked really, really great. And it's something that I'm pretty sure probably gonna make a habit of coming to on a yearly basis, but I feel like he's definitely in his element here a little bit more than being on NXT. This guy is an actual star. Well, at least with that, NXT and WWE, we'll see what ends up happening with that. Just know that the styles that they're doing here at Bloodsport is so different than what I know for WWE to allow them to do, and I don't feel like this is something that's going to cross over to what we see on WWE on a weekly basis. So this is something that I'm like, okay, if anybody hasn't really seen much of Charlie, I think this right here will probably have you feeling pretty impressed. Charlie takes the win. Didn't take too long in this match. Now up next we have I was going to say Catering Cross, but Karrion Kross, another severely underutilized wrestler within WWE. He goes against Junior Kratos. And I thought he looked amazing. I thought he looked amazing. Not just his look, but he's in great physical shape, and he moves so well in the ring. And it's situations like that where I'm just like, all right, let me not make fun of you, calling you Catering Cross, because like you are legit. Like he is really talented, and sometimes I feel like that gets lost in terms of him being on the WWE roster. Unfortunately, he takes the win in less than 8 minutes via submission, and he's another one just like Charlie, where I'm just like, maybe if you were somewhere else, you'd probably be being used better, a hell of a lot better. After seeing what I saw him do on this particular show, I don't know if WWE is going to do right by him in the long run. After this, Pete Dunne versus Timothy Thatcher. Lord, I love Timothy, by the way. Pete, I enjoyed Pete. I thought that he was a really great addition to be on here. I actually, when they announced the matches, I kind of really wanted to see Timothy versus Zack Sabre Jr. Like their styles, this would have been fucking amazing if it would have been them two, but it's okay, fine. Pete Dunne goes against Timothy. This was so good. This was so good. And Pete looks very much in his element here too. Another WWE wrestler that is underutilized. And you know, it's not, they're underutilized, yes, but even when you see them do this, you're just like, well, you're not gonna go over there and be doing all that. You know, it's a totally different ball game. You know, wrestling over here in GCW and then going to WWE. It's so different. Pete looked like a fucking star here. And I wish we can see a little bit more of him outside of WWE. If they do open that door more in terms of like a forbidden door or whatever you want to call it, then we can be able to see some of these people like Charlie and Pete and doing other things. I think Charlie has gone to Noah, I believe, or one of the promotions over in Japan. So if they keep that door open for some of these people who are still under contract that they don't really have plans for, that would be great. Pete took a really, really great win here via submission over Timothy, who is an amazing wrestler, by the way. And I'm hoping to see a lot more when it comes to Pete. If it's not going to be outside of WWE, then y'all need to be using this guy in the ring. He is amazing. Now after this, Natty Neidhart, who came out there with a whole entourage. She called herself the low-key legend. Honestly, I don't know if that's low-key. I think a lot of people would consider Natty to be a legend, to be honest with you. It's the fact that she's not used to her fullest potential. Maybe that's why she calls herself the low-key legend. I don't know. She had a whole entourage. They had their Bret Hart dungeon jackets and all this stuff. It was very interesting to see her in that light. She had her braids, her hair was back in a ponytail. When I said she was bursting in confidence. I have not seen Natty like this ever. This is absolutely insane. She's going against, well, she went against Miyu Yamashita. Miyu. To be honest, when I heard about this match, I was like, well, we praying for Natty. Because y'all know Miyu. And so I'm going to get to it. While Natty was just seeming very confident in the ring, before coming into the ring, and even throughout the match, I personally think Miyu did a better job. That's just me. Y'all go back and go watch it and see it for yourself. I think Miyu did a better job. I think she just seemed more into her element than Natty. I do feel like if Natty would do this more often, we can see better from her in the ring. I think the wrong person won, but that's neither here or there. Natty ends up taking the win, and she looked good overall. And to be honest with you, I felt really proud seeing her, because I have been vocal about how I felt like she's been underutilized. It's one of those things where it's like, especially with women, there are not as much women as there are men within WWE. So when another pretty blonde girl just come out of the blue, we're going to focus on her and not the other blondes that's all way back in the roster. So it's one of those things where Natty has been over the years pushed to the back of the roster, so we don't see her nearly as often. I think they renewed her contract, was it like last year, maybe early this year? For what? Who knows? But she looked absolutely confident, and I don't want to say completely in her element, but that confidence definitely made her look like that. But I do feel like Miyu should have taken the win. While we're talking about that, Natty is taking pictures of people in the crowd, shaking hands or whatever. Now, while she's doing that, here comes Kenzie Page from NWA, who she's going to be having a match with. I forgot what show it is, but they're going to be having a match. Now, I thought Kenzie was just some random girl in the crowd that hit Natty at first, and I was just like, oh, where's security? Why the girls wilding in here? But it was Kenzie. They ended up, when they said her name on commentary, I was like, oh shit, okay, I didn't know. All y'all girls with the plastic surgery, y'all all look the same. And they got into it, and Natty entourage and security, everybody broke them up or whatnot, and everything's okay. That's definitely brewing for us to see Natty and Kenzie over in NWA, which is kind of crazy, because it's just like, well, at least Natty would be able to do something else, since they're not doing anything with her and like half of the other girls in WWE. So congrats to Natty for taking the win. Wrong person won in my opinion. However, I think this is hopefully a start to something new and fresh for Natty, because she still has a lot to offer this business. After this, we have Tavion Heights going against Royce Isaacs from the West Coast Wrecking Crew. Well, no, not West Coast anymore. This was an interesting matchup. Tavion, I don't know. Well, you know what? I think he did okay. He has experience with the Olympics or some shit like that, right? So he has that amateur wrestling style background. So I thought he did okay in the match. I don't know. Maybe I just wasn't as interested at that point after Natty, kind of feeling pretty hyped about seeing her. So things kind of died down for me a little bit in this match. Tavion ended up taking the win in like under 9 minutes via TKO, which I kind of found to be interesting. Personally, I like Royce Isaacs a lot, so maybe I'm being a little biased by saying I wish he won. But I think Tavion looked great. But just at this time, this was a cool down period in the show. After this, ladies in action again, Shayna Baszler, who's been there, I want to say, twice before that I can remember, versus Konami. This was so good. Shayna Baszler, she got this shit done in like 5 minutes, okay? Shayna Baszler, another one who has been lost in the shuffle. They try to do that whole thing with her and Sonya and what's her name that looked like Gina Waters from Martin? All of them, and it just didn't work out. So whatever. So we're moving on. She ends up coming out there, and I thought she looked really, really great. She came out with Michin. Michin came out with her, and just being like a bestie and everything. And I'm like, okay, Michin, you should have gotten the ring too. You ain't doing nothing over there either. And Shayna absolutely killed it. I honestly thought that this was going to last way longer than just 5 minutes. I was like, Konami's going to give her a really good fight, probably go past the 10-minute mark for sure, and it didn't even go that far. TKO win from Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler, another one who I feel like is wasted. You know, we've seen her in type of elements like this before. I remember that match that she had with Lola Vice, and things like this. I'm just like, she doesn't need to be in WWE. Y'all go ahead and think what y'all want about it. I really don't feel like she needs to be in WWE. And I can say the same thing for Natty as well. Wasted talent on that roster. Match of the night. And y'all already know what I was going to say. Zack Sabre Jr. going against Jonathan Gresham. Jonathan Gresham, he's a free agent, right? I don't think he gets enough credit. I really don't think he gets enough credit overall in terms of him as a wrestler. He's also a technical wrestler as well, but because of his stature and his cardboard personality, he just doesn't get as much recognition as other people. Now, anyone who's going against Zack Sabre Jr. in a match like this, obviously, we don't even need to pray about it. We know what's going to happen. But I do feel like Jonathan gave a really great fight. Like, even at one point where he ends up hitting Zack in the chest so hard, like, Zack's chest was just damn near purple from just that one hit to the chest. And Zack stops and he goes, like, trying to breathe. And I was like, ow, I know he ain't got him like that. I thought that was very interesting. The match was so good. They went the 15-minute time limit, okay? They went to that 15-minute. And I'm just like, so what we doing? We just going to vote on who did good? No, we go into that overtime. The whole crowd is like, overtime, sudden death, whatever. Then, you know, they got to give us that extra 5 minutes. The 5 minutes come along and that last few minutes, not even another, it didn't even need another 3 minutes, maybe like 2 or so to continue. And Zack takes the win via TKO with a penalty kick to the fucking head. Okay, devastated. Jonathan, I don't know what happened. He sat down, and then and Zack's leg just came out of the blue and just boom to the face, and he just laid out. And I was just like, that's it, ref. Call his mama. He is not doing well. And Zack ends up taking the win. I thought that they did really great. The chemistry was great. And I'm just saying, like, even me, sometimes I'll overlook Jonathan Gresham, but he's super talented as well. I know some people have speculated maybe he would go over to WWE now that Jordan's over there. I personally feel like there is just no place for Jonathan Gresham in WWE. That's just the truth. I don't see him fitting or them doing anything with him if he were to go over there. However, if you haven't seen Jonathan in quite some time, I think he looked amazing here in this match with Zack Sabre Jr. But this is Zack Sabre Jr. we're talking about. There's just no way he was going to end up taking the win. Now, for our main event, Gabe Kidd versus Josh Barnett. Gabe, I was like, okay, he has that rugged attitude to get in there and do a pretty good job in a match like this. But I was like, against Josh Barnett, I don't know. Josh has won majority of his matches in Bloodsport, so I kind of wasn't sure where this was going for Gabe. However, I thought they did a really great job. And for Gabe's first time, he looked pretty good. In the middle of the match, he stops the match, get out of the ring, and stands on the barricade to argue with some little 12-year-old boy, tell him to shut the fuck up and all this shit. I don't know what that was about, but whatever. He's like a loose cannon when he's in the ring or whatever. He just gets distracted by the littlest things. And he gets back on in there, and he continues his match with Josh and took the win via TKO with a pile driver. Pile driver head went straight to the motherfucking mat. Josh couldn't even move. Josh didn't even know what century he was in. This is a really great effort for Gabe Kidd. Gabe Kidd just lost his title last weekend. Oh my God, to Ishii, which was an amazing match, by the way. A 30-minute Iron Man match. I went to Sudden Death. If you didn't see it, that was a Windy City Riot pay-per-view. So go ahead and check that out. That was great. Gabe Kidd looks like $1 million. He is amazing. After the match, he thanks Josh Barnett. Josh has given him opportunities to pretty much continue his pro wrestling career when he felt like giving up. He took a moment to cuss out that little boy in the crowd and calling people's mama skanks and all this stuff and whatever, the typical Gabe Kidd. And overall, it was a really great show. This is not for everybody, okay? I would definitely recommend watching some of these matches if you just want to see what some of these wrestlers are up to. But this type of style is not for everyone. Like, this is my favorite type of style. I never really recommend technical wrestling to other people because I hear it all the time. This is boring. Like, I watched Bloodsport with my daughter yesterday. She just wasn't getting into it, but she's there for support for me, just so I don't be lonely in the room. But it's just not something for everybody. But overall, I think that everyone did great, and it was really eye-opening to see these wrestlers from WWE and just looking at them and saying, hey, these people, they're hardly used over there. They're just pretty much keeping people hostage. Nick Khan, who talking about they don't be benching people, but here we are with these people that never truly get opportunities in WWE, and I think that they looked really great, the best that I've seen many of them look in a really long time, no thanks to WWE on their show. You guys go ahead and check out Bloodsport. I thought it was great. We got a lot of wrestling this weekend for WrestleMania weekend. If you're not watching WrestleMania, we still got a couple of more DDT is going to be doing a show with GCW. GCW, I think, have like 3 more shows this week. New Japan got another show tonight that I'm about to go watch. There's a lot of wrestling. Even if it's not just WrestleMania weekend, there's a lot of wrestling going on. And if you are a fan of professional wrestling, go ahead and check out these other promotions. They are giving really, really great shows. It's a really great time to be a wrestling fan. You guys, thanks so much for watching my review. I'll be back with the next show. Whatever the next show is, I'll post it and give a review on that. See you guys then. Bye.